name is Catherine Ward, and this is my second activity for School and Society with Dr. Ward. And so this project will focus on millennials in education and how educators can better teach them and what preconceived notions millennials bring into the classroom. So to begin, I will just give a list of characteristics of millennials. So millennials are not like any generation before them. They have a very sheltered upbringing. They're confident, team-oriented. They want to be successful. They have a desire for success, and yet they avoid taking risks. There's a lot of pressure with success, and lots of anxiety there, and they are accepting of rules and regulations, and yet they definitely are known for being kind of the entitled group or the trophy kid in essence. So I will be elaborating on this more with my field educator, Lydia Ebby. Thank you. I am here with my field educator, Lydia Ebby. She teaches Latin and medieval history and literature to high school students at Chesterton Academy. So,
Indeed.
Thank you for being here, Lydia.
It's my pleasure, Katie. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes. Let us discuss millennials.
Indeed.
So, consider the general characteristics of the millennial generation. What skill strengths and gaps, as well as preconceptions, do these students bring to your class? And we can talk about strategies to help teach these students. So I guess, what skills and strengths do you see millennials having in our classrooms?
Well, I suppose I'm actually at a bit of a disadvantage in the school that I teach because we don't use a lot of technology. But I do see them having that as a reference for things that they are. So I can make references to computer games and they know it. Works great when I'm talking about things that you can find in historical computer games.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about Venice, I usually bring in pictures of Venice-like cities from Assassin's Creed, and they know immediately what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But that does mean that when I show them actual pictures of Venice, they then think about how it's different than like real life.
It's kind of a disadvantage that that's their first experience with things in reality is through computer games, and that's kind of a little sad almost.
It is, and that's one of the challenges of teaching this generation particularly, I think, is that you have to take their virtual experiences and then show them what the real life thing is.
Yeah, so we're already trying to work off something that they know. Show them the other side, the real side of things, in a sense.
Yes. And then, I'm not old enough to have a frame of reference for whether that's easier or harder, but it is, I think, very interesting that we're working with things that we already have some experience of, and then we're just trying to contain their experience and knowledge of it.
That's a very good point. And that kind of routes me to one of the questions I had for you. So, our millennials, they are clearly growing up and live in such a virtual world. They're constantly surrounding themselves with pictures, graphics, videos. They're doing a lot of self-learning. So do you think we should try and mimic that in the classroom? Should we try bringing technology? I know your school doesn't use a lot of it, but do you think it would be beneficial if we brought in some of that technology reference for them in the classroom?
I don't think it's particularly beneficial, but if you want to use it as something that our classrooms make, that's great. That way you want to teach them how to use flashcards, for instance. Yeah. But in the classroom itself is when teachers and students don't get the opportunity to build a personal relationship with each other, which you don't get in the studio. So taking that out of the class, or taking that experience of the personal relationship out of the classroom experience really sets those teachers and students at a disadvantage. So I wouldn't say that technology is a bad thing to use in education, but the classroom may not be the best place for it.
Okay. It's interesting you personal relationships. That was another question I had for you. So one article, let me see here, I think, yes, Angela McLean says that millennial students gravitate towards group work. So they love working with people, they love talking with people. Do you use a lot of group work in your classroom, and should we foster that gravitation that they have in their learning?
I don't use a lot of group work in my classrooms. They tend to get sidetracked too quickly.
Yeah, that's what I find too.
And again, that might be something where it's best used outside of the classroom if you can find some practice and organized as a group. That would be very good. But in the class itself, and maybe also as the subjects that I'm teaching, it's important to really have different conversations about that in small groups. That would actually probably be quite useful. And I know that other teachers at the school, particularly health science teachers, use group work in classrooms. But for history and literature, it's not as beneficial as it might be for other classes. When it comes to the social aspect of classes, I'm conflicted because being social is not what the class is for. The class is for learning.
That's what I do. And it's interesting. I mean, we have such a range here. I mean, I'm with first grade, you're with high school students. So I can definitely say I really have to be choosy about what I let them do with group works. Because even if it's something as simple as turn to your neighbor, check your papers, before I know it, the whole class is just in an uproar, and it takes me a very long time to settle everyone down, just where they can hear what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I'm sort of in agreement with that. The classroom is for learning, and I think it's important for students to know how to discipline themselves for certain situations. You know, how do we behave in a classroom? How do I behave with my friends? They're different. One is we're teaching them how to be professionals, in a sense.
Yes, and that's especially true when it comes to higher grades, and
Yeah, especially. So, moving right along, something I wanted to ask you about is how we can engage them then in class. If it is a setting they're not quite used to, and it's something new for them where they're always having to figure out how to learn with the books, with the notes. How can we engage them? And I know you've had an experience where you were teaching a lesson and you were able to engage some emotions. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that for me.
yes, well, one of the things that I think you is that we really experience the world on several different platforms. One of them is the senses, hearing, smelling, seeing, feeling, touching. But we also experience the world emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. So being able to engage on different platforms is important. So you can say that, a lot of these different things that we do on our engage in some of these platforms. The videos and computer games are great tools to see things with, but they don't give you the sense of touch, they don't give you the sense of smell. And they don't intellectually engage you either, because what it is receiving it. And so with a lot of this technology, it is a place to start from, but it has to be brought to the next level. You have to then have a conversation about it, or something that will move them to think more deeply about it, and they start asking questions and they start intellectually engaging to the next level. But particularly with people who are used to immediate satisfaction, as in emotional satisfaction that they're getting from a lot of these video sources, where they are just receiving it as fun or as beautiful or something like that. That emotional engagement is very, very key. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to bring in something that is related to the things that we're talking about. And in history, because I teach medieval history, but as you can take a couple of these is a about science method, how tea is part of the philosophy of China and how it built its economy by drawing restriction from them. Let them taste this tea that I made right before them.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the amazing things about the tea ceremony is that it is really meant to engage all of the senses. So you see it, you smell it, you feel it, you taste it, and it draws on elements too. That's how it plays into Chinese philosophy. Heat, cold, water, earth, and air, all of this. It all ties together, and all of a sudden it's right there in front of them. They can taste it, they can touch it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is amazing, and I've had this for years, and I've had students who come back to me after they graduated and say, it's the one thing that I remember from my classes.
It's the tea lesson.
It's the tea lesson.
Wow. Very cool. I love the fact that you take the senses into account. I don't think I've really talked to an educator about that before. We're surrounded by teachers in our fields, but engaging the senses and for just thinking what that does for your memory as well, and thinking back on our own memories, and they are the ones that we keep are the ones in which we're most engaged, with our senses. That's awesome. All right, so last question I have for you is, so Leslie Wilson writes an article and puts together a set, like a table of what millennials, their strengths, weaknesses, how we can incorporate them into our classrooms. And she says that they obviously have a heightened skill set. And because of this, because they're so used to constantly sharing information over the internet, over their phones, she says that plagiarism is something that they don't necessarily perceive as ethically wrong or morally bad. So I guess just thoughts about that. Is that something that we as teachers should take into account, or should we, be consistent in instilling traditional values here and our response on that?
Yeah, that is a big problem, especially when you're looking at websites that people go to for as common everyday information uses, like Wikipedia. If you ever run it through a photo scanner, it's going to be plagiarized from half a dozen different places, and they all are almost exactly the same. So it really is a big problem. Well, it's a commonality that you see across the internet, because it is all is accepted. But once you start getting into someone claiming that work as their own, that is what I tell my students to do every year for each of the classes. Plagiarism is stealing, and there's no way around that. And if you get something from a different source, by all means tell me. If it's not a good idea, tell me. That's okay. But don't try to pass something off as yours. And establishing that right from the beginning, not continuing the belief that this kind of behavior, this kind of action is okay, is very, very key. Because then you start, if you don't do that, then the idea that taking someone else's work as their own becomes pervasive through other actions as well. Because something that work at college will happen to talk to your headmaster or your boss and present the idea. You don't tell them that it came from someone else. And that is cause huge problems in the workplace. That's just the mechanical things. I don't know if it's the same with line steel. And it really is something that even I have seen unfortunately, but through other forms of media, television, and just I see those issues coming up, and people are very hurt by it.
Yeah. So if anything, we should really heighten the awareness of plagiarism and the importance to avoiding that, especially in high school when they're preparing to go out in the world.
And I find they get caught though is to what exactly is plagiarism. Because they might not understand that copying and pasting paragraph or slide or from a book, they might not understand that that's plagiarism. I just say
Very good. Well, I guess just to conclude, can you think of any strategies for other teachers that might help them teach the millennial generation? And I know you've already said heightening the senses in our lesson, including those. But I was just wondering if you had more thoughts on possible strategies or just some general advice for teaching millennials.
the thing that I see that works the most effectively is the ability to communicate your passion with students. Because the problem with millennials really is that they live engaged. If they don't feel like you care about what you're speaking about, why should they care about it? And it's going to look different for every teacher. I studied teaching differently than you, you're different from other colleagues. But the way that I convey my enthusiasm and my passion, not just for the material that I teach, I love what I teach, but also for my students themselves. That I get excited when they figure out something for themselves. That I'm so happy for them when they get an answer right, when they're able to, do really well on quizzes and tests. And having that interest, an active interest in their academic life is very, very powerful for young students.
Sure. I can't imagine what that looks like for high school students, but I know first graders, they need the attention, and when they know that you care for them and you're there for them, that's when they start to bloom and grow. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. This has been great.
Thank you so much for asking me to do this for you.
No problem. So in conclusion, I just wanted to talk about some of my personal goals as an educator teaching the millennial generation. I think my first goal is definitely going to be to find that balance of technology and tradition. I would really love to bring in more technology in order to engage with students more and kind of get on their level a little bit, have them relate more to the material. But I also want to instill in them that love of book learning because, as books are a constant, reliable, tangible object that we have, I think there are still a lot of uncertainties that come with the internet, such as, maybe your computer crashes or you can't find any connection to the internet. So I think I'd love to find that balance in my classroom. My second learning goal, I think, would be just to orient my lessons to include more awareness of characteristics of millennials, such as a love of group work and creating those personal relationships with each other. I'd love to foster that in my students, especially considering that millennials spend so much time communicating with virtual means. I would love to instill and foster that real connection where they can learn to develop relationships and learn to communicate face to face and in a real setting. And my third learning goal, I think, would just be to really bring into my lessons as much sensory awareness as I can. As I spoke with my field educator, Lydia, she had a lesson in which she was teaching about Oriental culture and was able to make tea with her students and has brought in so many senses there. I mean, they were able to taste the tea, feel it, smell it, as well as hear about it. And as she said, she has, to this day, many students who have graduated who come back and commend her for that lesson and say, out of everything I've learned, I remember that lesson in high school. And so I would really love to do that. Hearing that from Lydia made me think, I would really love to bring in more tangible objects. Let's make education real. Let's not just teach to the test, but let's actually, make things useful so that students are taking something away, not just holding a piece of paper and constantly writing. I think we really need to get students engaged, and we can do that by introducing real lessons with tangible objects that they can feel, that they can touch, that they can see, they can smell. So I think those are my personal learning goals for teaching millennials in the classroom.